everyone, it's Rhonda here, Nelson Supery, and I'm sorry I took a few minutes, but I was reading the papers. So, Carly, I know that you are actually at Mornington Market where it is very wet, miserable, and absolutely horrible. So I know that you're definitely there, but that's okay. You can watch me later, no problem at all. And a big hello to Hunter, because I know little Hunter will watch me back on this video later on. So a big hello to my teenage friend over there. Hi Debbie, how are you, my love? I hope that you enjoy this Sunday chat, because this Sunday chat was actually a question that was given in our Patreon, and it's a really good thing to talk about. Hi Brinny, welcome my love. Welcome to Sunday chat, where it's freezing cold and absolutely miserable in Melbourne. It has been raining, I think, for 4 days straight. So although we are lucky we don't get snow where I am, so that's not as cold, but still only 4 degrees, so freezing. Good morning. Yes. Well, it is good morning, but it's probably good afternoon or evening for some of you in Canada, the UK, the US. I know lots of you come from lots of those other countries. Trinidad, I think they're only about 8 hours behind me. Thailand and so on. They're not as far behind in hours as us. Do you need a Shopify account? Someone's just asking, do you need a Shopify account to have a Shopify? Yes, you can sign up to the free version, but actually what happens on the free version, which I didn't know this when I started, but because I used to think I've set everything up on the free version, why won't it work? It actually doesn't go live. It doesn't work for you until you pay. So you can have the free version, and that's really just for you to get your footing, play around with Shopify and see how it works. Hello, Joe. Welcome, lovely. Hello, Debbie. Welcome, my love, to Sunday Chat. So we're just talking a little question about Shopify first. Yeah, so basically start with the free version, and that basically will give you a few weeks to set it up before you start paying anything. But it really isn't live for customers to buy anything until that. I definitely suggest, if you're going to start a website, a business, you need a website, everybody. You know, regardless of who you're going to use, please get a website, because, you know, there's a couple things. Number one, which doesn't really affect selling, but it makes customers believe that you're a legitimate business if you have a website. If they try and look for your website and Google you and nothing comes up, then they go, oh, hold on. And then they sort of question maybe not. So, you know, like, I guess if you're on Etsy or something like that, that's fine, because that's kind of like, you know, like a mini kind of website, isn't it, in a way? But you need, if you're not on a platform, 100% you need a website. And if you want your business to go places, I definitely suggest a website is 100% key. So you need one, everyone. I know no one wants to hear that 'cause it costs money. And I totally get it, because at the start I made absolutely no money at all. Like, I mean, not a zilch, not a dollar, not a cent, nothing. But, you know, that's why I say you need money to invest. Honestly, if you're going to start this business, my suggestion is you have at least 6 months money to pay your website for 6 months, even if you sell nothing else. So at least you've got 6 months up your sleeve of paying for a website. That is really important, because, and two, you know, when you've got a website as well, then what you can do is you can start to say to people, can you give me a Google review on my, you know, on Google, or can you give me a review on my website? And that's another thing that you can do behind the back end of Shopify. You can set up reviews, and it's free. Like, it's not, you don't have to pay for that. It's a part of the back part of Shopify, and then people can literally do it. I've got to refix mine, because when the designers did it, we or somewhere along the line something happened and we accidentally took it off. But I do have Google reviews, and a lot of people that buy from me wholesale say, I checked out your Google reviews and that's why they're coming. I think I have 12 and they're all positive. But even if they're not positive, you know, if someone had mentioned a bad one, then just message them back. So I'm really sorry. We're trying our best to help. And that's super important. But anyway, so now today, let's get on to this question, because this was asked from a Patreon. And as I said, this is super important. A lot of people sort of say, all right, I've got my idea. I know what I want to do. Now, how do I do a release date? Now, let me tell you, you don't have to do a release date. But what the whole idea of that is it's kind of getting a build up to people coming to you. So, for instance, we'll pretend you haven't started and you want to launch, say, a Christmas launch. All that would mean is that you have, if you're going to sell soap, candles, bath bombs, it would mean that you would have all of your Christmas ones ready. You would also have the images. You would also have the wording that you're going to use on your site or Etsy, wherever you're going to put them. You would make sure that you have everything up and ready to go. So now, and what you need to do is there's no good saying, all right, I'm just going to do a release date. Boom, I'll just put it on the website. That's it. Because there's no lead up to that. There's no excitement. Hi, my love. Welcome, sweet. Welcome to our Sunday chat. We're just talking about launching and so on. So, like I said, so let me get my paper because I'm going to forget what I'm going to say because you know I'm hopeless. So now let's start from the beginning of doing all this that we were talking about. So I can't remember who asked me this. I'm sorry, but I can't remember, lovely, so you can remind me if it was you. But now, so at the start, first of all, like I said, we need the goals. And I know this is really annoying. People always say to me, what do I need a goal? I don't want to do it. But, you know, any smart business person, whether you're a multi-zillionaire or you're just a mum like me, you need a goal. So the goal might be, you know, that you want to get your products known for Christmas. You want people to see what you're going to and so on. So it might be more goals than that, you know, but, you know, you got to start with some goal, don't you? So first, we're going to start with a goal. Then we're going to be talking about who is the target market. So who are you going to try and target with this? And I always talk about that because that is super duper important, your target market. So I'm just moving everything aside because I actually have my breakfast sitting down here that I'd been eating before coming on here because I'd already been editing 3 videos before this morning before coming on. So now, so we've got the target markets. You want to make sure that you're targeting the right people with that. Now, like I said, you have your images loaded, you have your website, you have the platform ready that you're going to be doing. And like I said, the goals, the brief, and do you have the stock? There's no good launching with one bath bomb. I mean, you must have the stock because it depends, like, you know, whether you're new or not. But at the start, if you're really new, no one knows you, you're not going to sell a lot on your launch day, let's be honest. But if you're like one of my daughters, as many of you know, has a very successful business on Etsy. She's an earring creator. If she launches, sometimes she can sell $4,000 in one day. And in Australia, that's pretty big money, you know, and when you think the earrings are $13 each, that's a lot of sales. She sells jumpers and so on as well, like she does the embroidery on jumpers. And she does, once she releases it, so she slowly gives little bits of idea as you go along, releasing it, which I'll start to do that soon for my Christmas range. And I know everyone's going to panic when I say Christmas because we're at mid-year. But for stores, you need to think about that now. June, July is the time that you think about it. And especially if you sell wholesale and you make soap. Because making soap, you need to make it in June to have it ready in August. Because usually by the end of August, mid to end of August, people will start launching the Christmas things for wholesale. So I always try to have mine ready by about the 20th of August. And usually the 1st of September is my launch for Christmas for wholesale. So that's something important to think about as well. And now, like I said, do you have enough stock? So you've got to ask yourself, how much stock do you need? Oh, thank you, Joe. I know lots of people say to me, why do you say you're just a mum? And I go, because I am just a mum. You know, like I started this business not thinking I was going to do anything big with it. It was really a hobby and, you know, like most of my kids had left home. So to be honest, I was a bit lonely and I thought my kids have gone and I have 5 daughters, so you can imagine all the chattering and everything with all the daughters, and 3 of them had left, the older ones, and got married or had partners and so on. And so I thought, what am I going to do? Anyway, so that's really where my little business started. So you just don't know, everyone, where this is going to lead you. So don't think, and oh, look, I've got to say this too. When we're talking about launching or creating, you know, a campaign, because this is really a campaign, please don't think, oh no, I only got 10 sales, I'm giving up. Because many people will have 10 launches or 10, campaigns before it ends up taking off. So please don't think that, oh, well, I only sold 10 things. One thing is better than no things. Oh, that's okay, lovely. You are welcome for my support. I really hope that all these chats actually help people understand a bit more. And, the reason I do this is when I started this industry, people talk like, you can watch videos to show you how to make it. Often they don't give a recipe, but still watching it is great because it gives you an idea and you can kind of see that visual. But I wanted really to, I guess, dive a bit deeper to really get people understanding how this works. Because when I first started, honestly, what I did is I got the products and put them online and thought, why isn't anyone buying anything? Like, I didn't even know that there was such a thing as a campaign. I thought, well, why would you do that? I mean, why not just sell it? And I did not understand behind that. So really that's where everything was born for me, of trying to make, like Patreon and this. And that's why even on Patreon, I do lots of blogs and things, just to explain how things work, because I know a lot of people have all these questions and they think, I don't know how to do that. So, please, everyone, don't feel like you can't ask me a question. Please just shoot me a question. You can message me through Instagram. That's where I get a lot of messages. Or you can message me through Patreon, of course, or email and so on, which is all on my website. Just go and check that out. But the best place, honestly, is Instagram, or I have a Facebook group and you can message me on that. On the Facebook group. But when you message me, or if anyone puts a post, do remember that it won't go live. I need to okay it, and the reason is to stop people trolling the Facebook group, because if anyone's mean, they will be deleted immediately from my group, because I don't like any nastiness at all or any smart comments. It just makes people feel low, and it's meant to be a fun, safe place. So if you feel like other groups or anywhere else you're a bit scared to ask something, please come over to my group and ask me. You can even send me a private message if you don't want other people to read it, and it won't be relayed to anyone else. So anyway, I just thought I'll get that out there, because lots of people have said to me lately they're a bit scared to say something in case there's a repercussion or somebody attacking them on there. So, look, we don't know everything. I don't know everything either, everyone, I just started learning this all on my own. So hopefully, like I said, my advice does help. But now let's talk about the dates when you would start for a release. So you've got your release, you've got your products, basically who you want to sell to. So for today, let's just pretend we're going to sell to 20 to 30-year-olds. So we've got our release, we know it's Christmas. And now what we need to do behind the scenes is we need to organize what it's going to look like. So when we're talking about release dates, there's no good doing a pink, for instance, every week, 1 week's pink, 1 week's yellow, 1 week's blue. You don't do that. What you need to do is have a consistent design. So you will notice even on my YouTube, so if you see the thumbnails, they all got the pink background. So people know when that comes up, that's me. And that's the same as like a release date. So if you're doing a Christmas one, try and keep the background the same pattern or the same color. And each week you would start to, do a little teaser. You'd say, hey, you want to see, we know you want to see our new bath bombs. They're amazing, blah, blah. And, do a little teaser. Then next week, come back again and do something else. But you'll have the same background image so people know it's you again. Even if you think, oh, I'm being annoying, don't worry about that, because big businesses are in your face, and that's how you remember their name. No one's going to remember your name if you're not in their face. They're just not, because there's huge, huge competition in this industry. And especially if you're in Australia, which we're very small, or New Zealand, smaller countries or places, the competition is even harder because we don't have as many people due to population to sell to. So just make sure, like I said, that, you're always doing that. So like I said, we've got our products. Now we're going to organize a campaign. So the campaign basically means set down some dates on when you're going to release information. So that would be on Instagram, if you have YouTube on there, TikTok, Facebook, anything like that. If there's any groups that will allow you to do it, then pop it on there. So for my daughter, she does, she is in a particular group for her earrings, and all those people love a show in Australia called Kath and Kim. And so what they basically do is any merchandise or anything that may relate or have comments, not that my daughter doesn't use images or anything, she just uses phrases that are funny that, you know, she thinks will relate to the show. So then basically that's how the release date comes up. And then she'll talk about all those things in it. So, and then those groups will allow that, because they do allow that. So you just got to make sure. So yeah, so like I said, basically your campaign is going to be all different, you know, little blogs or images or posts leading up to that, to lead the excitement. Now, what you need to do also is give a time. So, you know, you can say at your very start one, let's get excited, everyone. 1st of September, we are releasing such and such, you know, our Christmas range, for instance. And then everybody will be like, oh, okay, I might write that in the calendar. If they miss it the first time, by doing 2, 3, 4, 6, 10 posts, the time that you get to your 5th post, they can't miss that. They've heard it lots of times. And if they forget, then they can go back and go, okay, I remember. So if it's something that interests them. Also, one of the biggest things and the easiest way to get your word across is email marketing. If you have a Shopify account, it's totally free. So what you need to do is you just have a thing at the bottom, say, please sign up to my email list. Now, when I say sign up, that doesn't mean that you just say, hey, I've got a new bath bomb, let's buy it. You don't do that. You also need to send out emails that aren't a selling email. So sometimes I will send ones out. They'll always be, you know, like have my product pictures in it, but it would just be more explaining about the product. So it's not always a sell to get people to buy it. So that's what's really important. And the email list, you know, you can say, hey, let's get excited. Our diffuser's coming on September the 1st. Don't miss out, limited stock, or whatever you're going to, what your thing is. But you need to use keywords too, like it's limited. You know, once sold out, that's it. If that's what you're going to do. Or, you know, you can do more later. But, you know, or you can say things like, for wholesale clients, please buy in advance. If we sell out, we may not be able to keep up with demand, or we're only taking a certain amount of clients. Whatever your, you know, your goal is for that, you know, like I said, for your campaign, because really it's a campaign, you know, it's just like any business. You know, when McDonald's started making a Big Mac, they would have had a campaign on how to make that, how to promote that, how to get their word across, you know, how to make people see that it's amazing and they want it. So you basically, the idea of this is to get people to say, I want it, I need it, I'm getting it. Let me sign up. Where do I sign up for this? And so on. And if you have people on, for instance, your list, you can say, make sure you join our email list. You will get the email when we, you know, when we launch it. And one of the most important things is launching it at a time. So when I have my mid-sale, I think this year, I can't remember whether I did this year. I can't remember, but because I had sold out of a few things. But if, for instance, you're going to have a big mid-year sale, you do a release thing for about a month or so before. And then you would say, for instance, at 12:59 p.m., everything goes online for sale. So you need to give them a time, or 1 a.m., whatever time you want to set. And you can actually set your, if you've got Shopify, you can set the site to release everything. So basically you can have all your images, all of the words, the text, everything in the background. And then you just set it as a draft. And then you can start to schedule it to come up on a certain time. So that's basically what all of these other things do. Or you can have all your products in there, and then you can schedule them to be live at a certain time, or, you know, a discount at a certain time and a discount code. The one thing I'm going to tell everybody here that I've learned myself, when you give a discount code, make sure it's really easy. Sometimes if you have capitals and lower capitals and all of this, people mess it up. And then what happens, they get a bit cranky because they can't buy it. Because if they've got to put a code in and the code's very difficult, often they just go, nah, forget it, and they don't buy it. So try and make your code easy, or I would definitely suggest make it automatic. You know, so you might say they've got to spend $100 to get this on your campaign, And, make all of that clear in your campaigns. You must spend this to get this, or, actually, the best company I've seen do this really well, and I really, their videos are a bit crazy because they're always swirling the camera around, but it's Aroma. It's, sorry, I'm trying to think what the actual name is. It's in the UK. I think it's called Aromas, Crazy Aromas or something, but they're on YouTube as well. And they actually do a launch day, and they will show, they have hundreds of people sitting on their site waiting to go. Should you start out with a website if you're a beginner? Look, that's a really hard question, but it depends on money. Some people can't afford that, and I understand, but I had a website from the start, and it does make you more legitimate. If you can afford it, I would definitely say my suggestion would be yes, a website from the start. Look, even if, as I said to my son-in-law who's launching, he's actually a barber and he's launching his own hair products soon. And I said to him, even if your products aren't on your website, because he has a website, I said, on the loading page, say, coming soon, let's get excited. You can have something like that while you're working in the background. Shopify have that kind of thing where it's amazing that you can actually have all of that. You can have that on the front page. Just keep your loading page of let's get excited. If you want to know more, check out our Insta, or send people back to somewhere else while you're doing the site. Because there's, a lot of people, what they do is they work 6 months on a website and then they go, no one's come. Well, it's because no one's seen the website. But if they see it being built and they get excited. So when I was doing mine, I had so many people saying, when's your new one going to be up? I want to see it. I want to see the products. And so on. So, that kind of had to be there of check it out, we're coming back soon, and so on. So they're all just little lead ups to doing that. So as I said, the revision basically on doing this is, you need your lead up, you need your campaign, you need your goals for your campaign, and, an email listing. Please, everyone, try and get people email listing. If you're at a market, put a sheet down and say, would you like to go on our email listing? Or on the back of your business card, say on your, if you're at a market, give everyone a card. Oh, that's okay, lovely. That's okay. I do try and be pretty honest and transparent how it works because, look, this is the thing. Look, let's talk about this for a second, everyone. Sometimes, you'll go on YouTube or Instagram or TikTok or any of those, social medias, and you'll see, when you see people doing orders and you see thousands of, labels coming out of a machine and you go, oh my God, look how many, you've got to remember that they're probably experienced at what they're doing. They have targeted it. They probably used all of these strategies to get that. So that's not going to happen if you don't do lots of strategies to get there. And it's also it doesn't happen for everybody. I mean, that's the truth. It doesn't. So, but you can't give up. I mean, the biggest businesses in the world didn't give up in a year. Some of them have, took 10 years to be really successful. So that's the thing, if your product is a little unique, if it's a little different, and even if it's not different, even if it's a candle that everyone else has got, it's all about you branding yourself better than the person before. So, look, I mean, as you can see behind me, I make soap. Thousands of people make soap, but I sell my soap and they sell theirs because it's just about marketing, how you're marketing yourself. And, and for me, honestly, I do better on wholesale than retail. Wholesale, I sell quite a lot. Retail, no, I don't. But getting towards Christmas, yes, that's when I do have quite a few retail orders. But, like last Christmas, as an example, I sold thousands of dollars in wholesale, maybe $8,000 in wholesale all up. But this is the thing, everybody, when I'm talking wholesale, yes, but when you're talking retail, if no one knows you or you're fairly new, then that's hard to get your name across the line. So just think if one's for you. And when you're setting your price, if you're thinking of retail, there's no good, and I learnt this myself the hard way, there's no good saying, okay, I'm going to sell this, for instance, bath bomb, and it's super cheap. Now I'm going to get something for an example. So, oh, you want to start a candle and soap business? Look, you can do it, lovely. And it is nerve-wracking. I'm going to be honest with you. It is. It's very nerve-wracking. But the best advice I can give you is do not listen to everyone else. You'll have all the doubters. I had people saying, no one's going to follow you on YouTube. Why are you even thinking about this? And I had people laughing when I said I was going to do a Patreon. They're like, no one's going to follow you. You're just a boring mum from the suburb. And, you know, I earn more on Patreon than YouTube. So, you know, never listen to someone else. I always say, listen to that little gut of yourself. You know, my dad used to say, you have to believe in number one before you believe number two. And number one's you, number two's everyone else. So it's so true. If you don't believe in yourself, it's going to be harder for you to push that. And for me, I believe in my products. I know they're a good product. I know I can sell them, and I wouldn't sell something that was a rubbish product. So that's the thing too. Just make sure you get, you know, everything across the line. And, you know, if you're starting a business, everyone, find a hero product, because that is really important and that helps you sell. So a hero product might mean, if we talk about Jerica, for instance, that many of you know, her hero product has always been the hemp oil. So it's something she puts in her product. She's proud to put it in, and she talks about that quite a lot. For me, I always talk about jojoba oil and unrefined shea butter. Yeah, I know, it's very hard. I was just reading someone else, and my bad eyes make me have to look at it for a minute. In other countries, it's very tough, everybody, and I get it. It's really hard, and, you know, even for myself, this not happened overnight. It's taken 4 years. So, and as I say to people really honestly, look, there's months that I sell one item. So don't think I have thousands of sales. I don't. Most of my money, look, let's be honest here, most of my money is actually made in teaching. That's where I make a lot of my money. But I will say that when I started, one of my biggest things was markets. That's how I made the money. Then I got that name behind me. Once people knew me, then they bought from me online retail. And wholesale is, I definitely have a lot of wholesale clients. So, but, you know, that didn't happen overnight. It was really slow. And as I say to lots of people, I had a full-time job while I started doing this. So I didn't just do this all the time. I did have a job. And then that sort of sustained me because I still needed to earn money. So, but now I don't. This is my full-time job. This is how I earn a wage. And some days, look, sometimes I don't even take any money out of this business. So, you know, it's really hard until you get off the ground. And honestly, I always say to people, you need a 5-year plan, because you're not going to just sell it in a year. You might be lucky. In America, maybe, because America's much bigger. But in a smaller country, you know, like when we're talking about Canada, Australia, New Zealand, like I said, you know, other places, it's much, much harder. Definitely Hawaii, all these places are much harder because the population isn't there. So it makes it much, much more, you know, difficult. But now we were talking about wholesale before, which comes with this whole launch we're talking about. So these are my new ones, everybody. So this is just a melt in a box. So these are the new ones that I've done. Now, when I used to sell these on my site, they were like $5.95. And that was fine because I was making money out of that. But wholesale, they pay half of what retail is. So if you work that out, I was selling this for less than $3. And it cost me almost that to make it. So really, I was making no money at all. So I had to put my prices up to be realistic. And that's the thing. If you're going to do wholesale, you need to say to yourself, okay, the box costs money, the tag costs money, the contents cost money. All of these things cost money. So if you're going to do wholesale, don't be one of those people that sell a bath bomb for $4, because then that means wholesale, it's $2 and you won't make any money. So for instance, a lot of my bath bombs are about $9 now, and I felt terrible. I didn't want to put them up, but with the price of citric acid and all of the prices going up, I had to put them up. And then of course, wholesale, I sell a lot on wholesale as well. So, you know, the prices just had to go up. I couldn't sustain those kind of prices. And you've got to be realistic. You deserve to be paid for what you're making as well, everyone. So don't just think, well, if I sell it cheap, someone will buy it. Because I have people say to me, your bath bombs are $4 more than someone else, but they're better, so I'm happy to buy them. So, never feel like, you can't charge more. And, my dad used to say to me, he said, when you're an average person, or because my parents, just had an average job. They worked in a factory, or my dad was a tram driver, so they had an average job. And as he said, when you're an average person, you can't imagine somebody paying $10 for a bath bomb. But as he said, but the average person that has money doesn't question that, because they're like, it's a great product. I know that it's got jojoba oil in it and that's expensive. I'll buy it. And they don't question it. And most of my customers, actually all of them, don't question the price. They're just like, they know what it is. Exactly, Brenny. Know your worth. And, that took me a long time to understand that, because I really did think, well, okay, they're a bit expensive. I couldn't afford that. But as my dad said to me, yeah, but we're poorer people, or I wouldn't say poor, but, we're average people. And that's what he said. We wouldn't spend that because we wouldn't have that extra money. But people that have that, they know what it costs. They know the value of that product. And, my husband was saying the other day, if you're a big corporation like Apple, they don't care who can afford the $1,000 phone. Hi, Kim. Welcome, darling. Welcome. So as, my husband said, Apple don't care who can afford $1,000 or $2,000 phone. They set their price. That's it. If you can afford it, you buy it. If you can't, you don't get it. And that's what you need to do. You need to realize that this is the price. This is what it costs to manufacture for you to make it, and so on. Yeah, lovely. I can totally understand what you're saying. Somebody is saying that she got slammed for selling a soap for a certain amount. Look, when I did markets, I had people come up and say, I had a lady once say, I would never pay that for a bath bomb. I pay $1. You know what I just say to people like that? I just say, well, sorry, that's it. I had a lady once at a market, and she said, there used to be a woman here selling bath bombs for $1, and I'm trying to find her again. And I said, I couldn't even make it for $1, I told her. And she just looked at me and scoffed. And I said, well, why don't you just go back to the other lady then if you liked her product and it was cheap? She goes, well, she went out of business. I said, well, not surprising. And then she walked off, and I had a bit of a giggle with my husband. But, this is the thing. You're not going to stay in business selling a bath bomb for $1. And, look, honestly, everyone, if you want to attract a luxury sort of clientele, if you want to say, I want my things to go in a day spa, hairdressers, barbers, things where people pay money, people that have money, they don't want to pay $1, because they say, what's wrong with this for $1? They say, was it made overseas with rubbish ingredients or whatever? That's right, Brittany. Not everyone will be your target market, everybody. So if you're at a market, and you will have it, because you have what my dad used to call the cheapskate. I mean, you have a cheapskate at the market that says, I'm just not going to pay that. And that's okay too. That's fine if they don't want to pay that. And I was never rude. I would just say, look, I totally understand, that's fine. But, these are my prices and this is my business, and that's how I said it. And, look, I had people at the start that would argue with me, but when I actually took the time and I explained to them, I said, look, I'm really sorry you feel that way, but this is an expensive product to make. I'm not a big factory. Everything's made small. I can't afford to buy in 50-kilo lots. Some of those customers turned around to be my best customers now, and they're still my customers now. So don't feel like that. And then I had other customers that come to the market and spend $300 of candles in one day. And those customers are still my amazing customers now. So if Amy is watching, hello, Amy. And, that's what I mean. People sometimes, they just love what you do. And if they really love your product, they'll pay for it. And if they can't afford it, well, maybe it wasn't meant to be. So don't kind of worry about that someone that says something mean, because you will get that. It's really natural. Not everyone's going to love what you do. But as I said, just try and set your goals, set your price. And, look, I've had people say, oh, will you barter on that? I'm like, no. Well, oh, that's fine. Don't worry about that, lovely. If they say that you're making them look expensive, then you've done a good job. I mean, look, this is the thing, everybody. Let's talk about this for a second, because I know I get a lot of questions about people complaining about product prices and what do you do. Honestly, you need to smile to somebody and you need to say, you're going to argue with your price. Just say, look, I'm sorry. That's it. And sometimes you need to be quite blunt and never rude. I'm never ever rude, but I always just say, I'm sorry, but that's it. That is my price. Maybe you can find a different price if that doesn't suit you. But, I always say I don't compromise the quality for the price. So that was something I always said, and people just got it. I mean, when I did markets, there was people selling bath bombs for $2. And like I said, mine was $6, $8, usually about $8. That's just what it was. Oh, I know, lovely. I know that you were hurt, and it does deflate you 100% because I've been there. 100% I've been there, and it's really hurtful. But if I had to listen to those people at the start, I'd be selling a bath bomb for $2 and making no money and being broke. So don't listen to them. There will be people that will buy your product. Don't worry about that. You set your price. You do your business the way you want to, because they're only jealous that they can't do it. And that's often what happens. The perfect bath bomb size. Now, I used to do mine 130 grams, but most people ask for like 150 grams is pretty normal. That's what I sell all of mine now. I've changed them all to 150. But if you do them too big, it costs too much money and people don't see the value. Even though it's twice the size, they don't see the value because either way, it's still going in one bath. And citric acid can actually sting, your legs if you have too much bath bomb in one bath. So I always say to people, please do not put more than one bath bomb because citric acid can actually get itchy, especially on children's skin. So 150 grams is a big bath bomb. You don't need anything bigger than that. I mean, I do have ones that are this big, but, generally that would be for someone who has a really big bath. But a standard bath, 130 to probably 160 is all I would be putting in. I would not go over that as well. And that's, I think, like a 2.2-inch sphere mold is about 150 grams, roughly, I think, with my, measurement. And all the videos I've done, you'll see the 150 ones as well. Oh, that's okay. So keep your chin up, love. Don't worry about them. Please don't worry. You will be able to do it. They're just not your target market. And there's nothing wrong with saying that either because not everyone's your target market. I don't want, and this sounds mean, but I don't want my bath bombs sold in a reject shop. I want my branding to be a luxury brand. And if I did them at $3, they'd be in all the cheapy shops, and I don't want that. I would much prefer mine to be in, a beautiful place. So when someone goes into a day spa, it's a luxury for them to buy that $10 bath bomb and take it home. They're not going to use it every day. But that's the thing. You're kind of creating, levels of where you want your bath bombs to be. So there's nothing wrong with saying you don't want your bath bombs, in the cheapest little cheapy store. I mean, there's plenty of things that are great in those stores, and I buy containers or boxes or things like that in there, but I don't want my bath bombs. And I wouldn't be buying a body cream or anything from a discount store. Like, I just don't. I wouldn't be doing that because I'm like, it's your skin, it's going on your body. Like, I'm nearly 50 years old, so you got to think about I'll be 50 next month, and you got to think about all these things, everyone. I know we just go, I don't want to pay $2 more, but it's your skin. So over time, anyway, don't worry about that. Please don't worry about that, and just, do your business the way, and you're going to also get other businesses that will be cranky with you if you do well. I get it all the time, but, just ignore it. Honestly, just ignore it and just do your thing. And you've just got to really try. And honestly, I do believe that kindness and, just being a good person really does pay off in the end, because it has paid off for me. I mean, many times I've cried with things people have said to me, but in the end, you just got to go, I'm a good person. I'm trying my best. I'm trying, to get a lifestyle for my kids or myself, and that's it, and just move on. But anyway, like I said, so that is a little bit about that. So now, like I said, we'll get back to the release dates just to explain it. So I'm just looking down because I've got my paper aside for me. So try and do it 1 to 2 months. I'd say 2 months or maybe 6 weeks before. Set your date. So like I said, have your photos. You're going to have everything you need, all the wording you want to pop it onto your website or wherever you're going to put it. Set it as a draft so that it's not live until the day you want it to be live, or schedule it to be live at a certain date. And then start to get people excited, get that lead up, so make sure you're posting, putting all the tag words in Instagram, TikTok. TikTok is what really got me, money at the start. Honestly, it did get me a lot of money, TikTok, because straight away I actually had a video, and it was just making a bath bomb. So it was nothing exciting. And I think now it's like at 110,000 views. And it just went crazy. And I said to my younger daughter, what is happening with this? And she said, oh, Mum, algorithms picked you up. And that's the thing. You can get lucky, everyone, with an algorithm. So post on all the social media. It's free. You must do it. If you don't know how to do it, teach yourself. You must teach yourself, because that is how you'll be able to launch all these things and get there. And you'll see all the different people launching, on Instagram in particular. And don't worry about how many followers. Even if you have 2 followers, don't care about that, because that just means somebody has followed you, but other people may be watching as well. Oh, thank you, Dee. Thank you, my love. You are so sweet. So like we've said, we've got everything organized now so that we know how we're going to be doing our release date. We've got the dates organized. We've got the products. We know exactly what we're going to do. And one thing I always say is make sure you're sitting up and watching. So if you're, for instance, you've got everything set up on your Shopify and you're going to do it at 1 a.m., you need to be sitting there at 1 a.m. just to watch in case something goes wrong. Sometimes you may have too many people hit the site and it crashes. And then you need to quickly upload something to say, I'm sorry it's crashed. Please be patient, and so on. So actually, I've just figured out the name of the company I was talking about, Cozy Aromas in the UK. And they talk about launch days quite a bit. They're very, very good. Yeah, so I just seen someone else say something about how the products are going to be launched. So this is all just, like I said, about launching it and, getting the products, up and off the ground. So whether it's Easter, Christmas, Mother's Day, you'll see all the big stores do these. So kind of keep an eye out for these big stores and see how they're doing it, and you'll be able to do it and watch it and, get really good. But as I said, if you need any more tips, we do that over on Patreon, and on Patreon we also do a workshop once a month, which I actually do a live workshop. It's just for them, and showing them how to actually make something from scratch. So this, I think next weekend we will actually be doing some beautiful body butters and lotions and creams. So I'll be showing them how to do that, and with the recipe and so on, which we don't share on YouTube. That's just for them over there. So if you need any more advice over there, just go over there. You can join over there from $7.50. You'll see all of that in there. And hopefully that really does help. It helps me, and it also does obviously help everybody else, because you'll be able to see and you can talk and chat. But if not, and you want a free platform to join with me, just go over to my Facebook group, which is Nelson Sopery. And of course, you'll do the same on Insta. And some of my things say Nelson Interior Sopery, because that's how I started, because I'm an interior designer by trade. So, but anyway, I hope that helps. Oh, you love my, oh, thank you, Brinny. You love the Patreon. That is so nice. Thank you. I do try hard. And I actually am doing, I think 6 different collaborations at the moment. So there's a bit of exciting news coming out. Look out for my gorgeous one with deluxe shea butter. That is coming out soon, and that one will be really good because it will show everyone how the shea is made from scratch. If you want to talk about refined or unrefined, and how the ethically sourced products are made, and if that's something you want as a hero product, I definitely suggest that you watch my next video, which will be loading soon, and you'll be able to see how that's all done. Oh, hi Debbie, how I get any time for myself. Look, I do get time for myself, but I'm a busy bee and I really do love what I do. Although, look, let's be honest, at the moment I've been doing the tax. I'm going to roll my eyes 10 million times. I hate doing it. It's my pet hate, but I have to get onto it because I'm running late with it. So, but, you know, and that's a part, everyone too, of a business. The paperwork stinks. I mean, the creative side I love, the learning, the teaching I love, but you know, the paperwork, yuck. I mean, it's just not for me, but you got to do it. This is a part of, you know, the business. It's the same as dealing with the customer. That's a part of it too. And as I say on every video, please never, ever screenshot what somebody else says and put it on social media to you. Never do that. It's very bad. I've seen lots of businesses do it, and it's a really bad thing to start to ever do. It just leaves a very bad sour taste in people's mouth about your business if you do that. And I know that happens common. I would never do that, so definitely don't do that. That's my mummy advice for being successful. Like I said, just be kind and nice. If somebody can't afford something, that's okay. They might come back at a later time. You never know. Anyway, I will leave all of you. You've heard enough of my croaky voice for now, and I will see you next week. Bye.